Let's get into our big stories for today, and we're heading straight to Ablekuma North election because the parliamentary candidate of the opposition New Patriotic Party has sued the Electoral Commission and the governing National Democratic Congress, and she is praying for an order of certiorari from the court. Let's get into it because we'll be joined by Madi Jibril. He's Deputy Director of Elections and IT for the NDC. Madi, I'm grateful to you for joining here. Hello, Madi, do I have you? Madi, you might want to unmute so we can follow what you'll be telling us here. But if you look at, okay, Madi, do I have you?
Yeah, with you. Good morning.
Great, good morning. Now, the candidate for the NPP, Nana Ekuya Osuafriye, has filed a writ at the Superior Court of Judicature, the High Court of Justice, asking for an order of certiorari to quash the decision of the Electoral Commission to rerun 19 polling stations in Ablekuma North. You are a party to the suit. What do you make of this particular suit that the candidate has filed?
Let me say good morning to your viewers. As a party, as at yesterday, we have not received any suit as at yesterday. And I'm also aware that the Electoral Commission, which conducting the elections, has also invited the political parties to submit their agent lists for print of the ballot papers tomorrow, which the letter came to us as 6:30 p.m. yesterday. So as at now, we are not aware of any suits against us. Electoral Commission also not communicated anything to us.
Okay. Now, if it comes to you today, you get this particular suit, what's your plan?
I will be surprised that the elections will not come on the 11th July. Yes, anybody can go to court, but I really know that the issues of Ablekuma North is not being explained to the public very well.
Okay.
And I always say that the rep of the NPP who participated in the 6 meetings on Ablekuma North at IPAC level has done disservice to their party.
Okay.
And that is why today we are here. Ablekuma North, this issue of a 37 polling station pink sheet issue started way back on 28th December, where after the elections, there were some collation of 165 polling stations. At that point, on the 7th, EC claimed that they don't have any pink sheets anymore. On the 9th of December, the NDC was able to present 54 hard copy pink sheets, which the NPP also accepted. And then the EC used it to complete and continue the process, which gave us 219 polling station collation sheets. At that point, there was some collation, declaration, which the NPP opposed it and went to court. Then court directed that the Electoral Commission to come and continue the process and use the electoral process to complete it. When they came back on 21st December, the NPP then now also produced 25 hard copy pink sheets, which was added to the collation. At the point of the 21st, the NPP, the EC, and the NDC all claim that they don't have any material to be used to do the collation. At this point, the Electoral Commission now invited the political parties from the district level now to the IPAC meeting to find a way. In fact, it was Ablekuma North and Dominico Abenya, which have similar issue. So it was at that meeting on 28th December. Then now NPP claimed that now they have also gotten a scanned document of the 37 police station. This is where the issue started. So our position then was that if you had a scanned document, why couldn't you present it on the 9th December, 23rd December? Then now after 28th, now we are in January, You now claim that you have scanned document, meaning that the claim that you said that your pink sheet was destroyed on the 7th December is not true, because this is an afterthought that now you have a scanned document. But be as is me, we oppose using the scanned document of NPP to complete the process. At this point where we are doing this argument, then now NPP again left the meeting. Now went to court again on the McDonald's.
No. Hold on. I mean, we also do know that at this collation, the pink sheet, the scanned copies that the NPP brought, your agent accepted, and that aided the process for the collation to be done.
I'm bringing you to that point.
Okay.
I'm bringing you to that point.
Okay.
So when they went to court on the McDermott in January, then EC now went to the collation center. Though they don't have the collation, the pink sheet, the pink sheet. Instead for EC now to inform the IPAC that there's a directive to go and do some process, then we all agree on the document. EC went without inviting us. Then invited MPP higher level, that's the national officers. Then went to the collation center to go and then do this collation. It's after this collation that they did, when it's left to 3.
Oh, Madi, I mean, yes. Are you being fair to the fact? Because yes, we had our reporters at the collation, and we do know that your representatives also agreed for the usage of those scanned copies for the collation process.
Where we went for the IPAC, it was there that we're supposed to assess any documents you bring for any collation. Dominic and Ablekuma North.
Oh, really?
I'm saying that when they went to court, they never involved the FEC at a national level.
Madi, hold on. Is it true that your agent accepted the use of these scanned copies for the collation or not?
In fact, we at the national level, we oppose that. However, it was later in July 1st, after we went for 6 meetings on Ablekuma North. You know, after those collations that you mentioned that our agents were there, it's according to EC, they said it's left of 3. So when they came to report at IPAC that they have done 34 out of 37, we opposed that collation. Then now they said we should come back and meet on the 3, see how to find out a way to solve the problem. It was there that we opposed the 34 collation. It took us for 4 meetings. Then it became a back and forth issue. We are on the position of 37. EC is saying he has done 34, which has been confirmed and validated. So on the, I think in May, the EC went to police to say that they have completed.
Madi, you're not answering my question. You've come to me. I'm saying that at the last collation that the EC did, our cameras were there. Your agent accepted the usage of these scanned copies. And I want to find out, I mean, what changed that you reverted from agreeing to the use of scanned copies during the collation to now that you say you didn't agree to it?
That is what I'm saying, that those who are supposed to agree on the document before to be used, it was at the IPAC level. But the EC, after getting that clearance to go and do the process, they didn't involve IPAC again. And now they went to
hold on. Since when did collation of polling station results become a decision as to which document to use, a decision by the IPAC to agree on which document that has to be used for the collation?
You see, this is where I've always said that the EC has done the service to this country.
Okay.
You see, at the point of where they didn't have pink sheet, and there was the only document was a scanned document, they could have declared for rerun at that point. But then Jemensa mentioned to us that he wanted to find a way out to see how we can resolve these things. Because there's no any provision to solve to collect the result with scanned documents. That's where we got to IPAC. We wouldn't have gone to IPAC. We would have heard the information that because I don't have the pink sheet, that's the electoral commission, and the result, there's a dispute on the result, I am declaring a free run. But they brought us there to find a way out. So that is why the IPAC came. Nobody has asked EC to call us for IPAC meeting. Okay? So when we went to the IPAC and those things happened. So once they said that there were some cameramen, they recorded the collation. We insisted that even if there was some collation, it is not all the pink sheets, the scan document. But the EC stood and defended that they did 34 and had all the 34s validated. Okay. So when we went to the police, we told the police that we didn't agree on the collation because they couldn't even complete what they were saying that they did it. So we give them reason, we give them facts of the issues. So on the 12th of June, we met again. When we met on the 12th June, we are now at that meeting. The Mensa now participated in the meeting. We took her through why we cannot support them to use the scan documents. NPP also said that once EC said they are done 34, they don't have anything to say they have 34. So it was in between that meeting and the 3rd July. Now, Bosman went to Parliament to only report on the 34 without giving detail of the 34, how they arrived at validating that one. So
the election management body, the EC, which is clothed with the authority to, oversee the elections and declaring parliamentary results and presidential results, said it had validated 34 of those of the outstanding 37, right?
Yeah.
They could only have done the validation in the presence of both agent of the NDC and NPP, not so. So how come that body says, I've done 34, but you, the NDC that had your agent there, that agreed to the validation of these 34, now say you disagree?
Well, you see, because they didn't complete that process, because our agent who even went there said they challenged the process, but the EC said they did 34. So now, after they went to the Parliament, now EC now called us for a meeting. That was the 1st July.
Okay.
NDC represented by myself and Lawyer Edoji. NPP by the Director for Election, that is Evans, and former MP for Ablekuma Central. This meeting again, Mensa chaired the meeting. We presented our issues, NPP presented their issues. Then now they gave us the detail of the collation of the 34. Then now Mensa said the report available to her from the same officer they have, because they did their own checks, they now pushed to go beyond what we are saying. The fact was that it was only 18 that they were able to validate using their presiding officers and our agents. At that meeting on the 11th July and the 3rd July. So
that is what the EC said?
Yes, in the meeting.
So hold on. The EC said they were able to validate 18.
18.
After they had gone to Parliament to say they validated 34.
That is so. That is so in the meeting. So when the Mensa did this presentation, she challenged NPP reps and then her officers who participated in the activities at the regional collation that they should prove her wrong if they have done beyond 18. The NPP rep couldn't say anything. Their officers couldn't say anything in the meeting. They couldn't challenge. What they said is that truly, in fact, the director of electoral service, who is Mr. Benjamin, said that he was able to get 18 people to come and validate at that meeting. So that is where Jamila said, once you have gotten to this point, it looks like the parties are not ready to reconcile. So the only thing we can do to save the people of Ablekuma North, we should allow the voters now to participate to resolve this issue. So she's giving us 2 weeks. Between 2 weeks, they will run the elections. They said it at the meeting.
But doesn't it come as surprising to you as a party to this?
See,
no.
We were not surprised because we knew
that the EC since the election in December, has been consistent in saying, I mean, let's say January, that it is left with 3 polling stations for them to finish collation. Even as of June, when they went to Parliament, they were still on the same wavelength, that it is left with 3. I mean, you're not surprised that all of a sudden the EC turns around to say, we have only done collation for 18.
You see, but that is why I said that the EC have done the service to this country. In fact, when they continue telling us they did 34, if you check, when we went to the IGP, we told IGP that there was some mischief of this collation issue. So if EC want us to understand, they should give us the detail of the collation. When we went to the IGP, so when we, even on the 12th June, we questioned them on the process, how they arrive at 34. They couldn't explain to us. So when they mentioned that on the 1st July, our surprise is what they told the country for long. But we were not surprised because we knew that we will come to this point. Because you see, on the 12th June, I remember telling the Mensa, are you sure you are reporting the facts from the ground? Or you're reporting from some people who just give you a report? Because we are dealing with election issues. And we will not accept anything that you are only taking reports because somebody told you. Please, if you want to maintain your integrity, go beyond the issues. We are here. If the fact comes that you have validated it, we are good to go. So I was surprised that Bosman, when he was going to Parliament, when he was defending the IGP, saying this trade, he didn't do his work well to check what kind of information am I carrying to Parliament for my integrity, for the sake of my integrity.
No, but if you say so, I mean, we were all at the collation, right? And we saw the collation being done with the 3 outstanding. So how do you expect the EC?
Any media house, any media house to prove to us whether we had the 1934 presiding officers validating documents on that day. Yes, your cameras were there, but it doesn't mean that they had 34, they validated 34.
No, but so are you saying that your agent objected to the validation of these 34?
In fact, because the EC was not able to get the 19 presiding officers, they didn't even proceed to that process per their reports. Because you see, you need a presiding officer first to come and be part of the validation. Okay? But according to the director of electoral service, he said when they went out looking for the presiding officers, it was only the 18 who made themselves available. Even that one, it took them days. This one will come 4 will come today, the other one will come tomorrow. But it got to a point, the remaining ones said they will not participate. They are scared of their life. They can also come and validate a document that they don't own. That's what the report they told us at the meeting.
Now,
and this is a report of the Mensa. This is a report where Bosman is also seated in the meeting. Couldn't challenge the Mensa. The director of electoral affairs, Mr. Benjamin, who led the process, never challenged the electoral commission. NPP rep who participated in the process didn't challenge that issue.
Now, the NPP says that by this decision of the Electoral Commission, they have violated the express and pending orders of the High Court, dated 4 January 2025, as well as its own regulations under CI 127. If the NPP should win this, it means that the rerun will not come off. What will the NDC do?
So what was it? What was the ruling on the 4th January?
That the EC should collate the outstanding, police station results.
Okay, so court director, go and collect results. I don't have pin sheets. Do I collect results?
But you agreed to the usage of the scanned copies that...
You said that we never agree.
No,
let me tell you this.
Okay.
The day we came to that on the 1st, the minister made it clear to the NPP that the point of contention is because NPP scanned document. Okay. But they only accepted it because we have done some arrangement for Domingo Abinya of such.
Okay.
But before then, by the EC own regulation, you remember that Domingo Abinya, there were 3 polling stations. However, 2 scan documents was used to complete the process. But EC declared that result null and void because scan documents were used. Okay? So they only came to a point that they thought that they were finding a way to find a solution so that in the future we'll find some reform on those issues.
Okay, so when you said you had found a way around the Dom Kwabenya one, what did you do then?
In fact, exactly what they did on the 18th. Because the Dom Kwabenya, the 2 agents of the political parties agree on the result on the tally card, which they had the result already, but the result was damaged. So on the day they gave out their tally card to the presiding officer that this is the result that we collated, this is the result that we accepted, we have signed to it. So we sent it to the presiding officer. It was that material that the presiding officer presented to the Mensa that this is what I have. But if you cannot accept what the agent do, then we can go for rerun. Remember, Domingo Abinya, that polling station was declared for rerun, if you remember. Then now they say, okay, because the presiding officer come out with this, they will now rely on this and add that vote to it and declare a winner. And the same thing they did for the 18th. But we are saying that they couldn't proceed because they couldn't get other people. And our agents are not ready to do any validation of the scan document. So once we are not accepting any validation, nothing can go on. Because EC alone cannot validate NPP scan document without NDC accepting it. You agree? That's the law. So I clearly don't understand. The NPP now saying that the EC have validated any process. In fact, the EC rather has done the service because when the court director to go and do the collation, go and complete the process. What they should have told the public is that I'm asked to go and complete the process. However, I don't have what I can use. But the only way to complete it is to go to the people to help me to complete it. That's a rerun.
Well, so for you, I mean, the NPP is challenging this because, as far as they are concerned, it was only left with 3 polling stations, which of course the EC had always stayed by. You are saying that could not be the issue because the EC itself, the Electoral Commission chairperson says they're only able to validate 18. Now,
yes, that's what I'm saying.
I'm asking, if the NPP, per their suit, I mean, is able to compel the court to agree to their argument, what would the NDC do? So
will the court agree with NPP that we didn't validate 19, but the court want to do illegality to accept illegal document to complete the process? I just want to understand. Yes, NPP has gone to court and challenging that EC have said, because they have said, but they did illegality. Although they hid the illegality and said that they have done something. So EC is saying that, NPP is saying that because they said they have done 34, court should compare them to accept that they did 34. When they knew that they have done illegality without validating documents, is it going to have a democracy in this country? So if anybody comes and says that I have done this, they have said it 10 times, even though what he's saying is not true, we should just accept what the person says.
Okay.
Remember in 2024, when we were before the exhibition, the NDC raised issue on the register. The register was not credible, not fit for purpose. The same German Bossman and Tete had a press conference and told the whole world that the register is robust, but they will not do any exhibition again. Remember that issue.
Okay.
But so we presented a superior argument. They then come back and say, okay, now we have seen the problem. So we're now going to do re-exhibition. So staying at first with that basis doesn't make it legal for me.
Well, anyway, you've already said it. You're not surprised by the tenor of EC because I'm reading the press release on 17 January by the EC. And the EC still categorically said they are left with 3 out of the 281 police stations results, you know, to finish the collation. The EC has been consistent on this trend. And for all these 5 months of 2025, they never shifted from this position until just, latter part of, early part of July. And this doesn't...
I wish I'm in the office, I'm in the studio. I would have presented to you document corresponding between NDC, EC on these issues, where we show them that these areas, you've never done any validation. We have given them there some. In fact, I'm saying that.
So did you challenge this press release by the EC on the 17th of January?
No. If you read the entire press release, they mentioned that they couldn't validate other parts. They mentioned in that press release.
They said it's only 3 that were outstanding, and they were counting on the police to help them finish the coalition.
That is their report. But go to the end of it. They mentioned that they couldn't validate some documents.
Really?
Yes.
I can't see anywhere in this press release.
The
ending says, once again, we call on the government to engage the Ghana Police Service to ensure that the Commission is provided adequate security to enable us to go to the office and carry out our function in a safe and secure environment. The threat to life... 17 January. 17 January by the EC.
Oh, no. I'm saying that let's not come to January and July 2nd, their release.
I'm saying that July 2nd is just recent. And I'm asking that for 5 months...
I'm saying that we have challenged that position long ago.
Okay. All right. I hear.
Challenge that process. So when we go back to those issues, we will still continue doing the same. Let me even tell you this. You see the 18 validated documents, right? One of the things that they told us how they arrived at that point, they said they were able, the 6 presiding officers were able to bring hard copy of the pin sheets to be able to use to validate NPP scan documents. So I asked J. Mensah and Bosma, all of them, that in your process, do you issue pin sheet to presiding officers take home? They say no. Okay. So how come that somebody taking a document of the state document as a presiding officer took it home?
Madi, I think that we all have interesting days ahead of us. So we'll watch how this particular one plays out. I'm grateful to you for joining us on our show this morning.
I'm most grateful.
All right, so Madi Jibril is Deputy Director of Elections and IT for the NDC, and he joined us there to have this particular conversation. We'll take it.